Wow, look at this. We've got 70 people this morning in this head spa class. This is so cool. What a great trend that's now emerging in the Americas, right? It's come over from Asia. We have a great specialist with you today. She's up from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You'll get to know Nikki. She's not only a head spa specialist that offers it in her salon as a salon owner. She specializes in the services, of course. We'll talk about how she markets them, how she prices them, the different types of techniques she's learning on the head spa, how you guys can implement that yourself. But she also manufactures the units. So she's got 8 units. She did a bunch of studying overseas, came back, and they've manufactured these units. And they've sold a ton of them at this point. Amazing customer service. So what's interesting is Sullivan Beauty is offering this class through Surface. We'll be showing you a beautiful Awaken Scalp Facial service today. But by way of Surface, we are now connected with NC Lux Head Spas. And we will now be offering head spas, which you can implement right in the salon. They have portable units. We will have one out back, which is just a halo that's modular and connects to your existing bowls. So you get to learn all of that today. So today's a really comprehensive class in the fact that we've got the expertise doing the service.
Yes.
We're now offering some new equipment. And we're introducing it to New England, and we are stoked to be the vehicle to do that.
Yeah.
So here we go. Thank you, Surface.
Yeah. I'm excited for you guys. We have the amazing Nicole here today, all the way from South Carolina, and she is a treasure, you guys. She studied this in Japan and has a wealth of knowledge. So we are very, very honored to have her here today. And then we also have our amazing Education Director of Surface, Tiffany Woodleaf. So we have the best of the best here today.
I always found it kind of strange that that spas are able to charge so much more for similar services with the equal level of professional product that we use in the beauty industry. So I'm glad that we're going to kind of merge those two worlds together.
Who am I? I'm Nicole. I'm the proud owner of Nicole's Hair Design and Spa and NC Luxury Head Spa Equipment. How did I get here? Well, about 3 years ago, I suffered from some hair loss. That was one shower. Okay? It was devastating. Stress related. I was building my salon. My husband was sick. Clearly, I was sick as well, right? I was suffering inside. I didn't know what to do. 8 out of 10 of my guests sitting in the chair, same thing, right? You guys can relate. Somebody has a scalp challenge. Somebody is losing hair, shedding. What the heck is going on? This was before the head spa trend, right? The big blow up. So I had a guest sit in my chair, Jackie. She sits there and she says, Nicole, I know you've been suffering a lot. What do? Have you heard of the head spa? You pull out your phones, you Google. There's nothing, right? She's been traveling. She's been at Nikko, Japan, and I probably butchered that town's name. I apologize. Gentleman did about 3 head spas on her. Saved the whole game. Gave her a lot of education. She connected me with him. Next few months was amazing, right? I got to go over there, treated me like gold, taught me everything there was to know. The traditional Japanese head spa. All right, so I'm over there. I come back here. There's 3 components that really make the head spa a head spa, which we'll go over in a little bit. What do? There's no equipment. There's no information. How the heck am I supposed to do this? Google doesn't tell me. What am I supposed to do, right? So I have this abundance of knowledge. My husband and I get together. We try to make the traditional head spa into equipment, which we have done. Now I'm looking for a high-performing luxury product line. That was hard. Tiffany knows I'm a skeptic. Big skeptic. I have to try it, I have to see it, and I have to smell it. Sorry, but I'm also a business owner, right? So I have to make sure that it's affordable for my guests and that it works. I'm not going to sell anything I don't believe. Tiffany hands me this little sample, this Awaken sample, and she says, Nicole, try it. All right, fine. This is like the 6th thing I've tried. Okay. 3 months. Go back to that slide. 3 months. 45 days. 90 days. Holy camole. Right? It works. So the mix between the Japanese head spa, I found a luxury product line. What I didn't know at the time, Surface were the OGs of scalp facials. They know the scalp, right? It's our cosmetology book, this big, scalp treatment. It's not talked about, right? We're all suffering in silence. Let's stop it. Then a few months later, and the trend just goes crazy, right? This little dome, what does it do? It's so pretty, it's fun, it's exciting, right? So we now have this amazing line. We can fast forward. This is my little journey with the scalp facial, scalp analyzer that we'll show you in a little bit. All right, guys, so I have the product line. I have everything else, but what is a Japanese head scalp? What is it, right? It's going to help promote healthy scalp conditions and challenges, healthy hair growth, stress relief. That is the #1 cause of hair loss, stress, right? We need to fix that. Let's tone it down. Let's bring it back to that 4,000 years ago Japanese culture. What were they doing? They were tea brewing. They were brewing teas. And they used a mixture of cold teas, warm teas, and hot teas. And it was a 6-hour service. 6 hours. They would have all these different mixtures, and they would dip your hair in cold water with this different mixture. Rosemary, nettle, all these different things. Peppermint, tea tree. Then they would do the warmer bowl and the hotter bowl, right? So we have to mimic that. 3 components makes a Japanese head spa. Water therapy, which is changing temperature. Light therapy, which we'll go over. And steam therapy, fumigation. Okay? Now, the temperature water change, what is that doing? It's opening that follicle, closing that follicle, right? So we're putting in that moisture from the steam, we're putting in the right products, opening, closing, so that moisture is not escaping. Okay? If we just have hot water, right, we put moisture in, boom, it's out. So this way we're changing it, okay? So 3 main components of the head spa. Water, temperature change, steam, light therapy. So now what? We have this idea of the Japanese head spa. We know we want to do it. Who's offering it now?
Hey,
Who wants to offer it? Yes, I love it. Are you so lost? Do we not know what to do? It's scary, right? There's not a lot of information. So let's learn today. Let's create perfect space for your salon. We know that we need to relieve stress, okay? We know we've been suffering in silence. We haven't talked about this. So we need a really safe, like a safe place, right? We're dealing with chakras, our crown chakra, our throat chakras. Let's make it zen, soft music, soft lighting, aromatherapy. Let's heighten all of our senses, okay? Let's create that safe place. Whether you have a solo suite or a big salon, we're going to be talking about scalp challenges, right? It's very hard to talk about. It's embarrassing. We need a safe place. We need to have a little room or a little space where you're not next to somebody talking about your challenges so you're not embarrassed. This way you're not holding back as well. Your guest is comforting, right? They feel comforted. 78% of people feel indifferent about walking into a salon. You add scalp challenges to that? Much higher, right? So next we have our safe place. We have a zen environment. We need our equipment. I'm always going to say, go to this fancy bowl that I made, right? We did so good. We created the 4,000 years ago. It's nice and fancy now. Do you have to have that type of equipment now? You just have to have 3 things. You have to have light, right? We're going to go over the different lights. You have to have steam, fumigation, okay? And then you have to be able to change your water temperature. Can you do it at your regular shampoo bowl? Yes, right? Just think of your space in your mind. And as long as you have those 3 components, you'll be able to make this a difference between a head spa and a scalp facial, okay? All right. Now, these are our little light therapies in action, our fumigation, those 3 main components. All right, light therapy. We have several that go through. We have purple, red, green, blue, white. Little bit red increases blood flow. A natural source of vitamin D. I need some serotonin production. That's a good one. I just want to stand in it. Healing functions, reduces inflammation. All right. We have a certain type of hard plastic, not ceramic. Ceramic's very hard to cascade that light. There's a very, very hard plastic. So if you have that, you can get light therapy and it's going to cascade for your guest scalp perfect. Okay? Main ones, let's say I don't have all these lights, Nicole, what do? Main ones, red light, white light, and blue light. If you have red, woohoo! If you have those three, heck yes. Okay? All right, next we need tools. We have our scalp analyzing machine. I'm going to go over that and what the functions are. We're going to need a soft textured, let's see, we have some over here, soft textured brushes. We have to be able to submerge them in barbicide. We're about sanitation, okay? If we can't immerse them like these, we're going to discard them or we're going to give them to our guests to use at home, okay? Soft or bristle. We never want to be abrasive to the scalp. We want to set the mood. We want to get that really calm effect. So different things, scalp massagers, a light system for light therapy, our fine-tooth comb, and Surface has an amazing scalp massage. All right, we have our equipment, we have our space. Now we have our knowledge, we have our tools. Consultation. Consultation is key, right? So important. We have to be able to ask our guests personal questions. How are we going to do that? Well, it starts before they come into the salon or spa. We're going to send that in intake form. It's all in your notes. Feel free to take ours, make yours. What are some things, key things that need to be on there? Obviously, their information, right? How do we get a hold of them? Allergies, big one. We're going to be going over some ingredients that Surface has. It's from the earth. It's natural. And I really want to make sure nobody has any allergies. This is a massage type spa-like experience. Have they ever had a professional massage before? If so, light pressure, medium pressure, hard pressure, what do they enjoy? We want to make them comfortable, okay? We definitely need an emergency contact in anything you do, but also scalp conditions. What do they feel, right? We're going to go into it, but what they feel their challenges are. How often they wash their hair, things like this. So you're going to know all this before they come in, and that's going to set the tone for the consultation. We're going to go through a great one with our live model today, but at the end here, a consent and an agreement. So we should have that in our salons already. Whether it's color, scalp treatments, it doesn't matter. Have a consent to make sure your salon and spa is covered. Okay? Things that one more thing. Things that we don't want to talk about in our consultation. We'll go over a little bit more in the live demo. We are not doctors. We cannot treat. So very, very, very important. I see you have eczema. I see you have psoriasis. We can't use words like that. I see you have dry, flaky, irritated skin. You have some inflammation, redness. These are the words we need to use. We know what it is in our head, but we are not doctors. So very important, right? This is a new service. St. Gord is on our butt. We have to set the mood right to keep this thing going. And that's going to be education, right? All right. Scalp analyzing machine. So over here, I set it up backwards, darn me. All right, we have our meridian brush. What is our meridian brush? It's going to help any lymphatic drainage. It's going to help vibrate. There's a vibrating setting, heating setting, vibration, and electro setting. Right? You turn this on, and what's it going to do? It's going to break up any debris buildup. It's going to bring it to the surface, and this way we can expose a bit safely. Right? It's coming from within. We're not really scraping to get down deep. Next, we have our high frequency comb. This is going to be used on dry hair. Let's not fry our client. Dry hair. Right? And this is going to help improve blood circulation. It's going to bring nutrients to the hair. This is going to be at the end of the service. Okay? The meridian brush and a high frequency comb we cannot use on anybody who is breastfeeding, heart monitors, pacemakers, anything along those lines. But there's an option. We have, I don't believe it's on that one, but we have a massager. Okay? This does not have any of the heating or the vibration. This we will use instead of our meridian brush because we, again, want to do that little vibration, bring everything to the surface safely. Okay? Then we have our amazing scalp analysis camera. That's my favorite. I like run around the salon like, can I look at you? Let me see your face. It's so fun. It's so fun. To me, the dirtier the better, but whatever. Oxygen injection gun. Have you ever seen like the airbrush makeup? It's just like that. But why do we use it? We put some products in there. Oxygen, great form of moisture. The two together, we're just pushing it deeper, safely. Okay? So we're going to use that today too. Super exciting. All of these are going to help unclog pores, unclog our follicles, purify our scalp, break down any balances or oil, and stimulate our hair to regenerate. Now we're going to have to figure out the order to use, and that's what we'll show you. All right, here's some amazing before and after. I told you dirtier the better. I picked my really good ones for you. All right, this guest in the beginning, she suffers from severe dandruff. Okay, that was our before and after one service. Really great. Then over here, again, you can't tell our guest it's eczema or psoriasis, but she did suffer from something. Okay, and we're going to dive deep into what they mean, but before, after, very clogged pores, product buildup, skin buildup. What's really great is the different diameters of the hair is going to tell the age of the hair. Pretty cool. And then over there we have severe dandruff and scalp issues as well. So we're going to go deep into that. I can't wait. My favorite part of the day. And then I want to pass it to the amazing Tiffany to learn all about products and the whys we use everything in our head spa. Sound good? All right.
So Nicole just shared with you her journey of bringing the Japanese head spa here to the U.S. and it's been going gangbusters. Her and I have been working very heavily over the last year and a half on educating and developing this program so you all can take this service into your salon and spas, and the profitability is amazing. Well, she's got all the equipment, she's got the knowledge, the training, the background on the service. And we partnered together because Surface Hair, like she said, is the OG of the scalp facial. We've been doing scalp facials before scalp facials were cool, since 2008. Scalp care wasn't even really a big focus in our industry back then. Who's been doing hair since 2008? We partnered together because the results with the Awaken Scalp Facial are profound. Who's currently using Awaken in your salon or spa? Who's not? I'm excited to share with you how we've taken the original scalp facial that we've been doing at Surface since 2008. It's our #1 back bar treatment in salons. They're our top SKUs in our salons across North America. It's been that way since we launched. We moved into the COVID years. It grew legs. How many guests do you have that come into your salons and still to this day talk about COVID hair loss and scalp challenges from COVID, right? We grew legs. Now in 2003, 2004, it's catapulted to a level like we've never seen because people want this service. And the partnership of what we're able to do with Nicole's equipment, or the 3 components of the head spa, along with the Awaken Scalp Facial, the elevated service we're able to provide to our guests in our salon and spa environments is profound. And then we give them the education and the tools to keep that up at home. Because what does a guest want that has scalp challenges, has fine thinning hair? What is their #1 goal? They want it fixed. They want instant gratification. So you're able to give them an experience and drive this system deep into their scalp and really help promote and strengthen that hair follicle, help promote healthy cellular turnover and regeneration while they're in your spa environment. But then you're able to give them the tools to take home for that instant gratification. So they're able to get in that educational experience, right? So I'm going to share with you a little bit before we dig into the demo of what Awaken is and how we use this system in our Japanese head spa environment. So a little bit about Surface. We are natural, drug-free, healthy botanicals, organic ingredients, And we're free of all the things. We like to talk about what's in our products, not what we're free of, because everybody says they're free of everything these days. So we're using natural preservatives, natural cleansers, vegan flexible proteins, sugars, corns, starches for volume, hold, and control. Our delicious, rich organic oils of babasu, moringa, flax, and argan. Natural aromas, natural colors. Essential microminerals, which is a key component in our Awaken system, and botanical extracts. We're also really big about giving back at Surface. So if you don't already know this, a portion of every purchase that you make from Surface Hair is given back to World Vision. We sponsor 50 children across the world. We also partner with the Arbor Day Foundation. So we plant trees, help with reforestation, help endangered species. And then as of last year, we partnered with Green Circle Salons. So not only do we want to provide an amazing service with high-performing natural products, but we also want to give back to the world and leave it a better place. Key ingredients in Surface Hair, babasu oil, it's our driver. It's the Frank's hot sauce of Surface Hair.
Shower in it.
We know what Frank's hot sauce does, right? You can put it on everything. It's an organic penetrating oil. Where it's really important in our head spa environment, it has powerful, strong anti-inflammatory properties. It's driving ingredients and penetrating it into the skin and into the hair. It's antioxidant rich and it provides weightless moisture. It's an oil that penetrates and drives. It's not going to clog. Amaranth protein. It's our vegan flexible protein. So what that's doing, it's a pothole filler. We're strengthening the hair. So not only are we able to address scalp and skin issues, help regenerate hair growth, but we are also providing strength and flexibility to the hair with our amaranth protein. Everything within Surface Hair, including Awaken, is color safe with our Color Vita complex. So we're using Theramite MP3 fruit lipids, powerful antioxidants. So you are also protecting hair color on your head spa guests when you're using the Awaken system. We are sulfate free. Don't like that word to use the free, but it is important because not all sulfate free shampoos are created equal. And we're using a combination of babasu, coconut, and palm oil, and you're able to get that rich, velvety lather. And you want that when you're in the head spa experience. You want it when you're in any shampoo bowl. Nobody wants a dud shampoo with no bubbles, right? And then we have our full system. So within the Awaken system, for all scalp challenges and hair loss issues, we have 12 retail products that include 5 scalp care products, 7 styling products, and our number 1 SKU within all of Surface Hair is this right here.
Smells like hot cake.
It is also the number 1 SKU in Nicole's salon in Myrtle Beach, our Awaken Therapeutic box set. This is the gift that keeps on giving for that instant gratification for your guests when they leave the head spa. It's a 4-component box set with instructions on how to use it at home. We also have great handy brochures that you can give to your guests. So we're going to dig into these really quickly. I'm not going to bore you and make you want to stab your eye with a pencil with PK, but I want to give you the little nuggets, and then you're going to see the proof in the pudding in the demo. Sound cool?
Yeah.
So what do we do with Awaken Therapeutic? We're all about love your healthy scalp and hair. Healthy scalp and hair, healthy hair, longer anagen cycle. We want to keep that hair growing by staying in that anagen cycle longer. We are completely drug free. And it's a clear and conscious scalp and hair care regimen. What are we treating within Awaken? Hair loss issues, alopecia, stress, hormone imbalances, COVID hair loss, postpartum hair loss, thyroid medications, weight loss surgery, all the things. I know when I started in this industry in 1998, pretty much the only people that sat in my chair that talked about hair loss challenges were maybe in their 40s and up. And now today, you have young teenagers that sit in your chair that have hair loss challenges because this world is stressful, right? And we're putting things in our bodies these days that are a little questionable, right? So we're able to treat all of these hair loss issues. If that follicle's not dead and closed up, shiny and tight, we can help strengthen and regrow that hair. We're treating scalp conditions, psoriasis, dandruff, itchy scalp, oily scalp, dry, flaky scalp, eczema, all the things we're able to treat within this system. What I love most about the Awaken system as a former salon owner and hairstylist is that it's one system that does all the things. You're not having to curate different regimens for different challenges. You can do this one regimen on every single guest, and it's going to solve every single one of those challenges, whether they have 1, 2, 3, or all of them. So how does Awaken work? We keep that hair growing in that anagen stage longer. We're using essential microminerals. The essential microminerals, it's a blend of zinc, magnesium, iron, silica, things that our body needs and naturally deplete from the age 18 and on, right? You'll know, like, our hair is old once you become an adult. So all you young people out here, you got old hair. You might be cool, but your hair's old. We use biotin. Everybody knows what biotin does, right? People can take oral biotin, but it doesn't get into your bloodstream. It's not going into your body orally as quickly as it does when we're infusing it into your scalp through the Awaken system. We're helping create a healthy, stronger follicle in a drug-free way by blocking and reducing DHT. Who knows what DHT is?
It's a hormone that's created in our bodies that blocks the follicles from growing.
And it comes from testosterone. So is testosterone, high levels of testosterone will be converted to DHT. That's what causes male pattern baldness, female pattern baldness. You got it? But that's led by saw palmetto. So saw palmetto is our natural DHT inhibitor. So it's blocking that DHT. Whereas in dermatology offices, other people, who's heard of minoxidil? Right? Minoxidil is that drug that helps block DHT. We use saw palmetto. Minoxidil is known for having some scary side effects that some people do not want to use that. They want to be in that more natural drug-free world. Can you use, and I'll go ahead, elephant in the room, can you use Awaken and also use topical minoxidil? Yes, you can. So if you have someone coming in that's already seen a dermatologist and they are using topical minoxidil, they can also use the Awaken system. There will not be any counteractive effects. However, they can also get off of that minoxidil and taper off of it and fully move into the Awaken system and be drug-free.
I was going to ask, but I have a client who's been scared to do it. And I'm just like, sure.
The key ingredient is, the key component is to taper. So they just want to slowly taper off of it, because if you instantly stop minoxidil, it will quickly revert. Now, other elephant in the room, if you stop using Awaken, will your hair revert or hair loss challenges? Slowly over time, because you're not feeding your hair those essential microminerals with saw palmetto, right? But it's not going to be an aggressive hard stop like with minoxidil. So we're also using the D-biotin delivered through kinetic energy to stimulate the cellular regeneration zone. So we are strengthening that follicle. We're cleaning it out. We're helping with cellular turnover and regeneration. We're feeding it to keep it in that anagen stage longer. And then the cellular turnover is also helping to promote healthy skin cells on our scalp, because our scalp is an extension of our skin. So within our system, really quickly, we have our therapeutic shampoo for deep cleansing, starting that stimulation and blood flow. Our therapeutic conditioner and Awaken mask, they are helping with cellular turnover, anti-aging. It's like the conditioners are like enzyme exfoliators. They're going into that dermal layer and helping to exfoliate internally while also having strengthening and conditioning properties for the hair. Because what is the one thing a fine hair guest says to you all the time when it comes to conditioner? Okay, I'm going to flip the script here. You're going to go into the scalp with Awaken conditioner or mask. It's designed for the scalp. Then you work it through the mid-lengths and ends for conditioning properties, because we're wanting to help with that cellular turnover, detoxification, exfoliation. We have our scalp detox. We just launched this a year and a half ago. It is an amazing component, perfectly timed with our Japanese head spa craze, because this is our topical exfoliator. Our Awaken Scalp Elixir, one of my personal favorite products. This is what's helping with that kinetic energy. What do? Your hands warm up when you do this, right? Yeah, that's what you're doing with Elixir. You're prepping and priming the scalp to receive the ingredients. with that. You're also helping to stimulate the goosebump muscle. So it creates a natural root lift. And then our therapeutic treatment, this is helping to stimulate and revitalize that hair follicle. It also is that key component with that DHT blocker in it. And of course, our 4-piece box set. So this is our OG scalp facial. This is what we've been doing since 2008 in the back bar. You can do this treatment in less than 10 minutes in a back bar in your salons. But you can go in and personalize and curate and customize the most elevated experience like what Nicole's going to share with you today, and extend that all the way to 90 minutes, 2 hours. It just depends on how long your fingers can, keep on massaging carpal tunnel or arthritis. So you can do this with at any level within your salon and spas. If you're not already doing scalp facials and you're wanting to teeter into this part of the industry, this is a great thing to start doing in your salons right now because it's a teaser experience for what's to come. So when we do our steps in our scalp facial, I'll go through this quickly. We always use our elixir twice. Why? Because it's priming and prepping the scalp to receive the ingredients. So we do this pre-shampoo. We're going to shampoo 2 lathers. Then we go into our Awaken mask. We use Awaken mask in the treatment because it's 25% more exfoliating and detoxifying than the conditioner. That's why we use the mask in the elevated treatment. It additionally has moringa oil in it, which has powerful antioxidants, essential and non-essential amino acids, vitamins, minerals, all the things. So just more nourishing, a little bit more than the conditioner. We go in and use our Awaken elixir again because we're wanting to get that blood flow going to receive the Awaken treatment drops. And then you send them home with their styling care and their at-home care. Now, the Awaken Scalp Detox, it's standalone. It's not in our signature scalp facial. Why? Because everything in our signature scalp facial not only addresses topically, but it also addresses internally scalp issues and hair loss challenges. The scalp detox is topical only. We're using activated charcoal powder to exfoliate. So that's where you get that beautiful light gray color. And the granules are the activated charcoal. So it's detoxifying, helping to exfoliate the scalp. And then you have the stimulating ingredients that you have within all of our Awaken system, which is peppermint and capsicum. Capsicum is cayenne pepper. And that's what's going to give you that hot, cool sensation. Some people feel cool, some people feel warm. It's all how you live in the sensory level. But you have to have that hot and cold because hot and cold is what keeps the blood flow going, just like Nicole shared with the water temperature. You got to keep things opening, closing, keep things moving, right? So this is our scalp detox. You can use this between any shampoo and conditioner. Within our Awaken Scalp Facial, it's going to live between step 2 and step 3. Shampoo, detox, mask.
So, and you said shampoo 2 lathers.
2 lathers.
Detox would be 1 lather, I imagine, and
So
then
detox
mask.
doesn't need really lather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you might get a little light, but it's more of a cream with the Vasu oil. So it's really just exfoliating. So, and as you work that into the scalp, you're going to feel those activated charcoal beads. As you massage it in, they dissipate. And you're just left this beautiful velvety cream, nourishing cream on the scalp that you rinse out, and then you go into your mask. And obviously you're doing your elixir and your treatment drops on the bookends.
Would you do the elixir before the detoxifier as well?
No. Just do it. You do it pre-shampoo
Before.
and then pre-treatment. So, and then we have our stylers within Awaken. So I'm not going to touch onto these much. We can talk about them after the class. I will be doing a little styling. But if you have fine thinning hair and you want to style your hair, you gotta fatten it up. So our stylers are all about wrapping the botanical fibers. We got to create thickness and density first, volume and hold second. So we have a portfolio of stylers, so then they get that even more instant gratification and wow factor when they leave your salon. Surface masks, something that we have incorporated in the head spas. So I did share with you, Awaken conditioner, Awaken mask. It is very nourishing and conditioning for the hair. My hair's fine and thin. I can use it by itself and it's just fine. My friend right here with the beautiful curls, curly hair, thirsty, dry, needs more moisture, right? So we move into offering add-ons with our deep conditioning mask. While your Awaken mask is doing its magic on the scalp in the head spa, we're going to curate a beautiful customized mask for your hair type because
Just like with extensions, just like you got to treat the scalp and the skin differently than you do the mid-length ends of the hair. We need a little bit more. So also additional head spa additions that we'll share with you in our demo today. We use the Basu oil. Basu oil brings hot sauce, strong anti-inflammatory properties, driving ingredient. We're using it for massage. We're using it for skincare, for the face. We're using it to help drive in the elixir and additional ingredients into the scalp. We're also putting it on top of our mask with mid-lengths and ends for a tall glass of water and just driving in those additional nourishing components. Purify shampoo, target specific cleansers. This is a great one because, as Nicole said, we're asking people about allergies, sensitivities. Some guests may not love that icy cool pepperminty. I would say 98.99% of them want that. But there might be a 1%. Always the one that just doesn't love that sensory experience, but they really just want a good cleansing, deep scalp care. You can use the Purify Max Repair treatment. We'll share. You guys have that option in your folders. And then our CBD soothing salve. We use this in our massaging components. Nicole, this is a wonderful retail item in her salon. This is what we use for doing massage, hand massage, arm, décolleté, shoulders, feet, legs, whatever you want to do. This experience is yours to customize for your guest, and all that extra added fluff is what value you want to bring to the table for your guests. So this has 312 milligrams of CBD. It's THC free. It also is driven in with a Basu oil, anti-inflammatory, driving those ingredients in. It has peppermint, mint leaf in it. So mint leaf, it smells amazing, goes along with that same sensory experience that you're getting with the Awaken system. And then arnica. Arnica is very healing. A lot of arnica found in skincare. So great nourishing ingredients and components you could bring into those added experiences within your head spa. And then finally, as I said, when we're looking at the hair after treating the scalp, we do have 6 signature treatments for the hair and 2 express treatments that we offer with Surface Hair. These are also added values that you can put into a head spa experience after you've treated the scalp. We can also additionally treat their hair care needs. And then finally, just if you have not already done it, we do have an online Awaken certification at surfacehair.com. You can create a professional account very easily. You don't have to give your firstborn blood type or anything to get that account. You just register and go onto the pro side and take that Awaken certification with Mr. Wayne Grun, the founder and CIO of the company. He lots of videos that digs in a little bit deeper into the science. If you love that more sciencey, nerdy, like enriched product knowledge to learn more about what we talked about today.
Hey Tiff, how long does that take, that certification?
Oh gosh, you can do it in 30, 45 minutes. There's videos, there's micro videos. They're broken down in little components, like maybe 10 minutes each. So you can take your time and just watch a video between clients, or you can do it all at once. And then it takes you to a test. So you can, it's a multiple choice test. That test will allow you to go back and continually answer questions that you got wrong until you got them right. And when you're done, you print your certificate and you can display that into your salon saying that I'm Awaken certified. Yes.
Just want everybody to know, for anybody with ADHD or high processing, you can speed up the videos.
You can have to watch a video that isn't a PowerPoint too, so if you just want to go through the PowerPoint and try to take it. Hey, I encourage you guys, we're giving you a lot of information, a lot of nuggets today. So maybe just go in and try to take the test without watching the videos and see how well you do to begin with.
All right, we're going to have our amazing model, Melanie, coming to the lovely stage over here. So Melanie's never had a head spa before, and she jumped up for the privilege to check one today. All right, so Melanie, tell me a little bit about your scalp. How often are you washing our hair?
Usually twice a week.
Twice a week, okay. Do you say you have any scalp challenges? Any itchiness?
Dry scalp.
Dry scalp? Does it tend to happen seasonally or all the time?
All the time.
All the time? Any particular areas? Kind of all over? Okay. Natural allergies? Anything like that? And have we head spa before?
No.
No? Do we know what is involved with head spa?
Just listen to my
Let me tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to go into my scalp camera. We're going to take a deep dive into your scalp. Okay. And then we're going to go into our spa room. Guys, I'm in a little room in a chair, just like this. All right. I'm facing my guest. I'm speaking with her directly. I may even have a chair on her level. I want to make her feel comfortable. I want to start building that trust. And I want her to tell me all the information that I can. And I'm going to ask questions and repeat back. That's a main thing with consultations, right? All right, so while we're in the spa room, I'm going to be really heightening your sense. And what that means is you're going to have that beautiful waterfall dome that's all over Instagram. The reason why you're here is so pretty cool, right? It's actually doing something. It's going through a change of temperature. If at any time, Melanie, it gets a little too hot or too cold, please let me know. Side note, our equipment here is going through those water temperatures. It's going up 3 degrees, down 3 degrees on a cycle. Is she gonna feel it? She shouldn't, right? Ever so slightly. Enough to open that follicle and open up that hair shaft and close it. But if somebody is very sensitive, they may feel a little bit cooler or a little bit warm. You really want to check in with your guests and let them know that. Some of the products we're going to be using today, you'll either have a cooling sensation or a warming sensation. If it gets to be a little too much, please let me know. And then you're going to follow up. You're going to check in with them during the service. It's a spa setting, so when you're talking to them, I have to yell at you today, but very soft voice, calm, set the mood, right? They're going to follow your lead. If you're calm, they're calm. So we've had our take form, we looked over allergies. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the things that she would like to come out of this service, right? We're going to give her some education on what this service is doing, which you all know, right? We're putting in moisture, we're cleansing it, life plant, and we're feeding the soil so we can have a really healthy stem to bloom that flower. That's what we're doing today, okay?
That's a great analogy. Just wanting to double check. If somebody says that they're feeling that icy heat too much, what would be your first thing?
If they're feeling cooling, I'm going to put a little bit of tepid water. If they're feeling like warm, do the opposite, but very slightly. Okay, so it's not a shock to them. Great question. And then maybe I will take one of my masks or my Basu oil and use this like a calming thing and just double check on the client. And then we put it in our nose and we switch to the purifying shampoo or something along those lines next time.
Okay.
Now, a question that people have, what if they do have allergies, but they just don't know to what? Say they're very sensitive to things. Just like we're cosmetologists, we're estheticians, we know what to do with allergies. We're going to put it behind a tester, behind the ear, inside of their wrist, and I even do inside of the arm. I'm going to let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and we're going to see if we have any reaction. If somebody is very, very sensitive, I'm going to do this a day before the service. I'm going to have them come in for a consultation just to make sure my guest is safe. It's all about safety, right?
And the key product there that you're going to be testing on them would be
the Surface shampoo.
Okay.
Great question. Yes, because I'm going to be using that twice. That's going to be that first one on the skin, and I really just want to make sure that they're good and no reaction. Good. All right, let's get back into our scalp analysis machine. So again, my favorite, my camera. It takes pictures. Yes. It takes pictures, we save them, it does not store them. But for example, our salon, we use Vigaro, for instance, and you can have what's called soap, right? And that's going to be your guest's notes. And it's going to also be on that intake form that you sent home with them. You can add photos. So you're not going to be like going through your camera every single time. You add it to something so you can refer back to it. And it's so cool to see day 1 and day 30. It is huge. All right.
And instant social media.
Oh, great. Yeah. It's like, give me the dirty hair. Come on. Give me like 2 weeks. What do you got? All right. Anything that I'm doing methodically. I have a plan in place. I am doing my camera. We're going to be focusing on the top of the head to check the camera here. Why? Most men and women, they're thinning or have their challenges up on the top. It's the furthest away from the heart. Least amount of blood flow. So we really want to make sure that we're getting that area first. Then guests who suffer from psoriasis and eczema not always, tend to have the worst irritations behind their ears. And then we're also checking right underneath the nape of the neck. Why? We sweat the most there. The density is the highest there. Our pores are clogged there, right? We really want to check 1, 2, and 3. And it's also a great idea because now you're going to go back to that the second time they come. Are we going to get that same exact spot? No, but we're in the general area, so we can get a really true test of what we're trying to do here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and take a picture here for you guys. We can take a look down here. What am I seeing? Okay, we see a lot of these pictures, but we don't know how to analyze them. We have some clogged pores and follicles here. We're like plants, right? So if it's not happy, I'm not able to give the nourishment that our hair needs. It's blocking that. What I'm also seeing is there's not little lines of red. What is that? That's your blood flow, right? Men and women tend to thin mostly on the top and in the front. As we see here, we don't have that blood flow. Let's bring it there, okay? And then we're also going to educate our guests on how they can continue that at home. Here's the hair shaft. On those hair shafts, there's little shiny spots. How can you tell the difference whether it's wet or oily? By little patches. If it was all the way full shine, that would be wet or damp or sweaty. But the fact that we have these little pockets shows the oil. Now we're also seeing some skin or product buildup. How do we know the difference? Products like, for example, dry shampoo, you're going to see a consistent shape. You're going to tend to see little circles of white. Skin buildup looks like a potato chip, all right? And they're a little more translucent. They're not as white. They're more of an opaque. So I can tell this is skin buildup because they look like little potato chips. Sorry. The other thing that I see here are the different diameters of the hair. That shows the age of the hair. Cool. The other thing we're looking for, so if we don't have blood flow, we're looking at the color of the scalp. This one's going to be a little bit easier to bring that blood flow because I see a little bit of pink. I don't know if you can see it in there, but I see a little bit of pink. If it's gray, if it's translucent looking, shadowy, that's going to be a very tough one to bring blood flow and get that instant result. And that may be a conversation that you have with your guests because they've already seen all these videos and they're like, oh, well, why don't I have that? Tell them. We need to work a little bit harder to bring up that blood flow because you're lacking it so much in that area. Let's work together. Together, key word. Let's work as a partnership. I'm going to do this here with you today, and you're going to do some homework with you at home. Pretty cool, right? Who's excited? Like, I love this one. It's so fun. Now, the other thing is you can zoom in. So if there's something in particular you want to look at, you can do that, and then we just get rid of it. All right, we're going to do our measure here. Again, we're lacking the blood flow. We don't have those little squiggly worms of blood. Simple. But I see a little bit pink, a little bit more pink, actually. So that shows that this is going to be a little bit easier to bring that blood flow to the surface. I don't see as much skin buildup, but I do see a lot more oils. Okay? Now, what happens when it's oily? We need moisture, right? So all this time, I'm talking about this picture and I'm formulating what I'm doing in my service. Okay? Now we're going to go back here. Let's look at the hair itself. Let's get, we don't see little patches or anything like that, but you don't see shine. It's very translucent, matte. It's matte. So I know I like a good cocktail. Tiffany knows espresso martini is my favorite. So I know in my head I have buildup of oil, yet dry, flaky scalp, skin buildup, no blood flow, but her mid-shaft to ends are dry. So what am I going to cocktail to make sure that this guest is getting everything they need? Okay? 1, 2, 3, mid shaft to ends. Sound good? Okay,
Are you placing that right on the scalp?
on the scalp. Yeah. So, yeah, you are spreading the hair, whether it's a fine tooth comb, your finger, the tool itself, whatever you need to. And you're pressing a little top because it moves, right? It's a magnifying camera, so it will slip. So you want to just place it right there, quickly snap a picture, and you're good to go. Thicker, coarser hair, it's harder to get to the scalp. So you may have to sometimes use clips or something along those lines.
Question. Does yours have different lighting? Because like sometimes it can be.
No, but because the way that it is, it has, I think it's like 17 different angles to block lighting from your area, like from your salon or whatever. It will block and hold if you press correctly.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I just was curious. I wasn't sure.
So there's ones out there that are just very light sensitive. Yes. Is that what you're kind of saying?
There's like a setting on mine where it turns everything like kind of like blue and like it's
So that's great, but you're also getting false advertising,
Okay.
right? So for example, in salons, when we want a really cool blonde, but we have super warm light, right? It's false advertising.
Yeah.
So we use the purest form of white light in ours,
Okay.
just to be sure that we're getting the actual results that we need.
I
So
was
be careful with that.
Like different, you know.
It may be just to kind of block whatever, but just be
Yeah.
careful with that because you really want that true result. And if you are to change it, make sure you put it in your notes so you're doing it every time.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we have the consultation. We have her getting ready for the service itself. We already know what we want to do. What do we do next? Okay, we have our oxygen gun. Now, Tiffany talked about the elixir. It's going to be slightly inappropriate. I call it Viagra for your hair because it is what it is, right? It just opens everything up and it's just there and it's whatever. So sorry. All right, so we have our oxygen gun. Now we have a system in place. I'm not just, no. We have a system. We're going to be methodical. Whatever works for you, that's fine. Just know why you're doing it. This way, your results are the same every time. Right? If I'm back there and I'm a for lightener and I'm pouring just whatever developer in just because, I'm not going to have consistent results. Same thing as here. Okay?
Are they sitting out at this point?
So they are in a chair at this point, yes. If that works for your space. Now, some buyers that I have, they don't have that space. So they do have their guests laying down prior and they're doing all this analysis at the bowl or at the bed or bowl, whatever you have. So make it work for you. All right.
Is this just oxygen right now? Or
So this is the elixir and the oxygen mix.
so you put some of the elixir up in that little
Absolutely.
holding.
And I am priming my scalp.
Huh.
So how many sprays of the elixir in there? It's all about 3 or 4?
3 or 4 sprays.
Little goes a long way.
Little goes a long way. And I'm cheap. My team will tell you. Add more, right? Put in less, add more. Don't just pour it in there.
True salon owner.
So my question is, the oxygen gun, is it the same thing as the makeup airbrush guns, or is it completely different?
No, it's
It's the same thing?
same thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So that is going to help drive moisture deeper into that hair follicle and hair shaft. Oxygen is the purest form of moisture. And it's also going to act like there's oxygen bars now, which is crazy. It's like you're going to charge me for that, but it works. I mean, you feel great. So it's very similar to that. All right.
And I'm going to pass this around. So this is just a portable USB. It charges. And so if you don't have the entire analysis machine that comes with it, you can use like an esthetician or makeup grade oxygen gun. And you're not going to have to worry about with the elixir or the treatment drops like clogging. You might want to cycle through and clean it, obviously.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, but it's a water-based product. It's not heavy. It's not going to clog that gun.
And what's great is the elixir has a nozzle that will help you spray as well. So if we don't have all these gadgets, it's okay. It's okay. But what do you know? That you may need to work a little harder on your, not harder pressure, but a little more in your massage techniques. You may need to alter it a little bit longer in your service because it's just going to be that much harder because you don't have that oxygen already putting that moisture in deep enough. Okay?
Just using the air around you. Is that correct?
What's that? Yes. Well, no. Actually, there's 4 filters. So it's taking we have a little intake from our machine itself, and it goes through 4 filters and gives you the purest form of oxygen. Yes.
So it's taken from the air and filtering it?
Yes. Yes.
So, Nikki, if you were not to be using that machine and you were just using the spray, you're doing it with like 1-inch sections, 2-inch sections, you're spraying and you're massaging.
Absolutely. So I'm massaging in, and I'm going to do this for about a minute. All right. You can use a little tool if you want, but really the balls of your fingers are the best because we really don't want to add any abrasions to our scalp. So just a little massaging. During that, I'm going to be talking to my guest about what the next steps are. Then I'm going to bring her to my treatment room. I'm going to show her how to lay in the bed. You'd be surprised. I go in with people face down, butt up, and it's like, what is this? So we really want to give step-by-step instructions. 78% of guests feel indifferent about walking into your salon or spa. Let's fix that. Give them the step. They don't know.
If you do not have an oxygen gun or a machine, or if you're explaining to your guests to use this at home, this nozzle right here is perfect for application just by itself. So I always say a little goes a long way. You do not need to overspray like 15, 20 sprays. You can lay this right into the scalp, put it into the scalp and spray like 4 to 5 through the hairline here, and then behind the ear. I'm literally spraying this into my hair now. Yeah. Behind the ear, and then you can go down depending on how large their melon is. I like to say, you know, if you have a small head, you can go down the middle, or maybe you might need to do an X pattern. And then massage it in. And what's great about this is, and I love to demo this because you can apply this. This is applied to wet or dry hair. And it's going to give you that natural, we're talking about that natural reflex, stimulating that goosebump muscle. It's it's water-based, it's feeding right into the scalp. It's not disrupting any of the hydro bonds from your styles, collapsing your hairstyle. Actually gives a nice lift. I did not know that. So this is my #1 product I spray on my hair as soon as I wash it. Awesome. So I just wanted to share with you how you would, if you're not going to use oxygen gun, how you would apply that to a guest, or how you would train your guests to use it at home.
If you have the machine, how often do you have to change the filters? It's already built in there and it cleanses itself. It's all light therapy in there that's breaking everything. It goes through different filters of light. It's pretty cool. All right. I have my guest on the bed. This is a common thing that happens. Make sure your guest is in the perfect spot for you to work. The worst is when your guest is not in the correct spot and you start the service and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know what happens. Everybody's neck disappears. So this would be a time where I would want my guest to move down because I want to make sure the headrest and my hands can go in between that. We good?
Yeah. I'm just curious as far as state to state, possible physical touch as far as what we can do as hairstylists. That is something you'll need to talk to your state board about. Every state I have found in working with multiple states through this experience that every state cosmetology board is different. North Carolina, only cosmetologists can perform a head spa. South Carolina, you can be a cosmetologist, esthetician, or massage therapist. So that is something I would check with your state board on what their regulation. I do feel like because this is such a new service within our industry that there are like probably over time there's going to be a little bit different guidance and guidelines. But you know, cosmetology like in broad, you're able to do all of that. Yes. Well, I know New Hampshire was made it where you don't need a license to wash hair anymore.
Yes.
Okay. So I think feel like that kind of covers.
Yeah. What's great too is our equipment itself. We're actually on the board right now to get the equipment itself state board certified. We only have 2 more processes to go, and that will be all over the U.S. except California. They're a little they're a little interesting over there. So, and the reason why is because the equipment itself goes through light. A little bit about the equipment. So it's going through a light process. It has 4 filters as well, from the top to the side, and then back up. And what that's doing is we're doing the tea brewed method, right? We're utilizing our lysine, our salt palmettos, all of these products from Surface. We're recycling that, but there's lights inside the equipment to breaks it down, and then you're out with that pure tea brewed greatness. Everyone's like, it's dirty water. Knowledge is power, right?
Let me ask 2 questions about the setup real quick. I saw you remove the hood and put it on the ground when your guest was getting into the bed.
Yes.
That's your typical process.
Yes, we have steamer, we have the light therapy, and we have the water therapy. A lot of people ask when the steamer goes on. It's not right when you sit down. I'll give you guys that information as we move along. Before you get into your room, you're going to have light on, going back to creating that perfect space, Zen music, calming light, right? Soft music, warmed bed, very important. Heightening those senses, aromatherapy. All of these things is going to give it that cloud 9 memorable experience. So with the equipment itself, the portable ones and plums have a heater inside of it. Again, if you don't have this, it is okay. If you do have it, you are going to go ahead at this point, turn it on, because when you turn on your halo, that is when the water starts to circulate and it's going to warm up to temperature. Okay? Our goal here is going to be 98 degrees to start. Now remember, it's going up 3 degrees, down 3 degrees. Okay?
Okay, and then Melanie is in the correct position, of course.
Yeah.
You have to worry about how close they are in the head spa.
Everything is good to go. As long as you have a massage bed that adjusts in height, you always want to be about a ½ an inch to an inch higher than your equipment. I want blood flow, but I don't want her passing out, right? A ½ an inch to an inch is the perfect spot. Now I'm turning on my beautiful Instagram water dome. I have my light therapy going. I am not raising this up yet. I am going to be using my Basu oil. Remember, it's our driver. So we have the elixir. Now we're adding that Basu oil. I made comments about wanting to shower in it. It's true. It smells delicious. What's great about it, it's also going to be a nice dry rub before I start my service. So guess what? The water's heating and the guest is starting to get their service done and they feel like something's happening. Typically, I would have a warm towel on their face. I would have rocks along my guest. Now, it's a Zen crown chakra, throat chakra. Give energy, all right? Touch your guests, feel your guests, give back that positive, happy energy we want. So we're going to, I call this set the mood. All right, I'm going to use different tools, mainly my fingers, but we can use our scalp massagers. We can utilize all these different tools to set the mood. Okay, I will typically start with, I'm going to have my guest. Can you breathe in? Hold and out. Soft voices. Okay, then calm setting. I have a little bit of CBD on my hands. I'm going to touch my guest. Next, I'm going to take my warmed up Basu oil. It does not break it down. Get a little bottle warmer, baby bottle warmer, massage bottle warmer, whatever may have you. Heat it up. And we are going to apply on our guest's scalp. Now, what's amazing about this, guys, is cater to your own salon and spa. I'm just showing you the steps. Add some really great fluff. I use jade masks. I use all these different things. Be creative. Have fun with this. So I'm massaging this in. We're going to go over some massage techniques here in a minute. While the guest is there, I'm going to turn my guest's head. Always move it toward them. Don't make them move. I have the Basu on there, and I'm really using the balls of my fingers to just gently apply all of this Basu oil while my water is heating up. Anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes it takes for the water and the equipment to heat up, depending on what water you place into the bowl. I love to use our boar bristle brushes, and we're going to gently apply that Basu. Notice how I'm working in the same motion every time. I know where I'm going next. I do tell my guests this is going to be a little bit on the tepid side. Again, if it gets too cool or too warm, let me know, and we can adjust that. We're going to slowly raise it up, especially if they've never had this experience before. It tickles almost. I have it on the lowest setting
Of pressure.
and I'm going to raise it up. Now, with a warmed bed, aromatherapy, everything is calm, right? The best part, my hands are free. Free. Lift up, get the water down, and work on those pressure points, which we'll go over in just a moment. Do not lower your dome. Always have a towel, important. Do not lower your dome until you have your next step in your hand. Don't just leave them hanging. Key note, if you know you're using something that is cool, do something warm on their face. So this has a cooling effect, the shampoo. I'm going to have a warm towel on her face. Heighten those senses. Play with those senses. Okay? Make sure the hair is nice and wet. We are going to slowly lower it down. And this is where that tea brew begins to happen. We're going to start in the middle. Work our way back. Get them in the mood. Let's talk massage. Massage is key. There is a dew meridian, a bladder meridian on both sides. From that, pressure point number 1, 2 fingers. Pressure point number 2, 2 fingers, pressure point, 2 fingers, pressure point. Hey, Nicole, my finger's fatter than yours. That's okay. It is about 1/4 of an inch size of each pressure point. So no matter the size of your finger, you're going to hit a part of it. Same is true along your hairline. Start from the middle, 2 fingers, pressure point, 2 fingers, all the way down to their ears. Okay? Reflexology is an amazing, amazing world. I'm going to gently lift their head. Now, a lot of people ask me, when do you get the back and nape of the neck? I'm going to work on that separately. I want to do the least amount of movement to my guest's head or neck. We may be suffering from a neck challenge. We may be suffering from, I don't know, anything. We want to be very aware of these issues. Now I'm working that dew meridian and bladder meridian with different types of massages. We really need to be utilizing at all times. Hope is a great one to help wake up the scalp, get that blood flow. Use different parts of your hands. I'm using my palm. Now, when we get all that worked up, I'm not turning her head yet. Going to be using my boar bristle scalp brush. Now, there's these really cool machines out there now that do all this for you with the little grippy and the dewy and all of that. It's a Zen service, guys. Touch your client. Don't be afraid. right? We do it best. If you want to, there's no shame in it, but go back to the natural way of massaging. Touch, feel, connect. All right, so we're working through other tools that we can use are our surface scalp brushes. How we would do that gently. What I love about the surface one, they do not pull the hair. Now this is the time. Melanie, how are you feeling? Good. We okay? Everything's good? Again, soft, voice, check in with your guest. After that, now I am turning my guest's head. Working top, middle, side. Now I'm working over here.
Now, notice you still have the water running, of course.
The water running.
How long could that water run for before running out in this
So
unit?
because it is on that T-brood method, you can recycle that water. Show you when to drain and use the fresh water without the T-brood method. But you can do this up until it will shut off itself for an hour and a half. And all you have to do is turn it right back on and it will be right where you started. Use those massage movements, use your shoulders, pressure points all along the back of your neck. I know I'm kind of rushing through this, but different things to think about. Your ears. Okay, we want to pull, 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 circle, circle, circle. Or go, sorry. Okay, we're going to continue on the other side. We're going to work shoulders and our neck. On our ears. Pull, pull, pull. Low. Gently. All right, guys. So we want to be shampooing for about 3 to 5 minutes. For time purposes, I'm not going to do the second shampoo, but this is when you can decide if you would like to do it the second time. Typically, medium to thick hair, I will do that. Fine hair, I typically can do the one shampoo and be sufficient. Okay. Now we're working that T-brood method. We are utilizing our hands to work that water and that tea. Different massage technique. Dew meridians, bladder meridians, working those areas. Places that we tend to forget will be the back of our head and right behind the ears. Really make sure we're getting those areas. All right? So who can tell me what's next? Ah, my favorite. I love it. Our scalp detox.
Nikki, can I ask a question?
Yes, of course you can.
We have well water very prevalent in our area.
Yes.
Purifying first before we do the awakening shampoo.
You can. If you have equipment, it should purify it for you. If you don't, then absolutely, yours purified.
Okay.
Yes.
So you know our max repair treatment, like where you steam in with heat, the purify, you can definitely let that work that in and let the steam and the everything and the light
Do like a hand massage or
Yeah, absolutely. And then go into your awakening treatment. Yeah. What's so awesome about this is it's so like it curates so much based on your guest needs.
Yeah.
So what's next and what's great about this is our scalp detox, we're getting ready, but our guest still feels like they're getting something done. So if you have you fumble around like me and dropped 80 million tools at this point, it's okay, she's still sleeping. Place the scalp detox right on my hand. You can use a board, a palette. I am truly left-handed. They say I'm so right-handed. I'm so left-handed. So we're going to slowly bring that down. We are going to separate to show the scalp. Our boar bristle. We're going to tap, tap, tap. Gently scrub. And we are working in that same pattern. Everything is going to be methodical and for a reason. Now, what's great about the scalp detox is you almost feel when it's done because of the little granules of charcoal. As you break it down with the water and your massage movement, you are going to feel the granules dissipate and you know it's ready to rinse. Typically, anywhere 2 to 3 minutes is where my massage will be. I am going to work on the top and the sides of the head again, and I'm going to do the back and the sides last. I want to, again, not move my guest head. I want to move the guest the least amount possible. We're going to work this through. Okay, how's everybody feeling? Sleepy?
Yeah.
How long, when you're doing the Awaken Scalp Facial on a typical paying client in your salon,
Great question.
how long is that service?
That is a great question. So, the one I am showing you today is going to be my hair loss service. In my spa, I have 3 services. I have I hate the word basic, but the simple half-hour basic head spa treatment. That's going to be your shampoo, your detox, and your mask. No scalp analyzing. More of just like an introduction to the service itself. Then the most popular one I have is my full service treatment. This is for your guest who really just wants that nice, relaxing spa experiences. A lot of my teens like this one because they have huge scalp buildup and product buildup. So we really want to work that into it. And then it's new to them, right? They don't want that long massage and that thought out one. Now, what we're doing here is our hair loss service. This is going to include the scalp analyzing. It's going to include a hands, arms, décolleté massage. And I add feet. My salon hates me for that. They're not the people. But what's great, guys, is you can add on things. So, for example, that's my starting point, right? I have my service, I have my why, but then I have a guest who has shoulder pain, arthritis, joint pain. Hey, Sally, I really think this CBD salve would be great for you. And this is going to be an additional add-on. So you don't need it. You can use it for everybody. It's fantastic. But let's use it as an add-on, right? Think about that cost per application. Add it to your service list. A jelly mask. Anything along the lines of those. Full service and hair loss will include a mini facial. Why? It's going to give the time for the products to sit. Right? We need that time and they want to feel like they're doing something. You had a question?
Yeah, how long did you say the full service?
So the full service one will be 50 minutes. And the hair loss one that I'm showing you today will be your hour-and-a-half service. You should have a little example of that in your kit as well. I mean, my salon personally, it's $125, $185, $250. But again, you have to know the why of your pricing. Just because somebody is charging something down the street, know your rent, your costs, all of that. Did you want to talk about that one?
Well, we're going to go into that after the demo. So some pricing, cost analysis, how to break that down.
Perfect.
So we'll dig in a little deeper.
Between your full service and your hair loss service, is there certain steps, like, or certain products that you use on the hair loss one that you wouldn't use on the regular one?
So the elixir and the treatment?
The elixir.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like Tiffany said, she'll break that down.
Okay.
So the cost, and I'm going to go through the cost of it, cost per application and everything. It's really going to be kind of how you're marketing it, what your add-ons are.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, typically, I will go ahead and do the sides and the back for time purposes. I'm not going to bore you with that. You'll all fall asleep. This is the time to turn on your steam. If you have it during your whole service, you are going to be on the floor by your second one, maybe even first one. So we are going to turn on our steam. We have our equipment here. I'll show you guys. If you want to show them this little guy over there. Okay. You have an on switch, you have a time switch, and you have a temperature switch. You want to turn it down to the lowest setting, 1 or 2. Why? You want it to last the duration of the rest of your service. However, steam is hot. We don't want to burn our guests, okay? And we want to make it comfortable for them and yourself. I recommend putting a little fan right by your little patootie. All right, so steam is on. We have our guests nice and relaxed. Do I put this down now? No. No, I have nothing in my hand. I don't have my next step. Okay? We're going to use my cocktail. Today we discussed the Basu and our therapeutic awaken mask. Now the mask is what I'm going to be using on the scalp. My Basu mask is what I'm using mid-shaft to end. Basu, moisture. Just remember that. We are lacking moisture, right? We saw it. For mid-shaft to ends, we're dry. Let's put it back. You add the steam to that, it's going to push it in even deeper. Cool, right? Awesome. All right, so there's several different ways you can apply these products. Those of you with the equipment, we are going to bring down and we are going to shut off at this point. Then, if you have the portable, you will go ahead and drain. If you have the plum, you're still going to drain. We're done with our tea brewed method, but I'm not going to leave my guests with dirty hair. That's nasty. So we're getting rid of that. The filters inside is breaking everything down and cleaning for us as we speak. And now we're going to apply our mask to our scalp. All right, guys, we're still using those different massage movements, our explorage, Postman, the P one that you guys all yelled at me for. I can never pronounce that one. See? All right, we're working that bladder meridian, that dew meridian. And
What product are we using right now?
this is the Awaken Therapeutic Mask. How much more moisture is the mask than the conditioner?
It's not, or not per se moisture. So the mask is 25% more effective in detoxification and exfoliation internally on that dermal layer than the conditioner. So when we do this, if you look on the back of our Awaken Scalp Facial treatment card, you'll see in the steps, it talks about utilizing the mask in the Awaken Scalp Facial and doing a massage for 7 minutes. 7 minutes is a lucky number. Obviously, within this experience, if you're in a head spa situation, you are doing a lot of massaging. If you're in a back bar situation, in a salon, in a busy salon environment, 7 minutes seems like a long time. Well, I always say, you have an assistant to torture that you would like to get them working on some good massaging skills, great. You can massage for a couple minutes, and if you're a busy stylist and you need 5 minutes to have a bite of sandwich and maybe use the restroom, great. But we want to allow that mask to work for 7 minutes because it takes a full 7 minutes to fully open up that sebaceous gland, clean everything out, all the buildup, all the sebum, all the things for that healthy, strong follicle. And we're doing it in the head spa environment at an even higher level because we have the steam and the light therapy that's opening everything up for that really deep exfoliation and detoxification of the hair follicle.
This tool here is one of my favorites from Surface, this comb. Thick, coarse hair, you have your comb, but you also have your pick. It's a really nice tool to use. So what I'm doing for those of you that can't see is I am marrying both the Awaken mask with the Basu mask just by applying Awaken mask to the scalp, the Basu mask to the mid-shaft and ends, and I am combing through. That's all. You're going to see your guest's hair shed. Take note of it. Put it in your notes when you're finished, because this way, every time they come in, you can see less and less and talk to them about that. Not during the service, but after. You want this a relaxing time, right? Yes.
How often are you saying to your clients?
Yes, great question, great question. We don't want your guests to be reliant on the service. We want everything on a natural level. So what we're going to do is have your guests come back in from 6 to 8 weeks. Then that next time is going to be 8 to 10, 10 to 12, and you're going to continue that 12 to 14 train once you get to that point. You can build in services as a package deal, but also use intelligent verbiage. I need to see you in 6 to 8 weeks. I need to see you in 8 to 10 weeks. And this is half, and this is why, right? Very important. Know the why and tell them the why. Yes.
What about a color client where in their color?
Yes, you want to do anywhere from a week prior or a week after. Okay? The amaranth flower is going to help protect that color. We know that. So it's keratin safe, color safe, all of these things. But I just don't want to irritate the scalp. Depending on what color line we use, right? It's already a chemical. It's already breaking down. And I don't want to open that up and put anything bad in there. So like prior or after, doesn't matter.
And with the Awaken Scalp Facial in general, you don't ever want to do it on someone who has any sort of open wounds or sores or irritation that may be caused from a chemical burn, or like if they have aggressive psoriasis or eczema that they've been, people get digging at, and they might have an open sore. You don't ever want to do, that scalp facial or this treatment on that guest then. When it comes to color, we are completely color safe. We don't recommend doing a scalp facial or a head spa treatment the day of on the scalp liner. When it comes to like a root touch up, gray coverage type guest, someone all over color, kind of subjective. That's going to be working through the consultation process of that guest. So if they have color sensitivities already, if that has concerned them, not recommended. If their color doesn't ever an issue or bother them, that's, okay with that consultation form and make them sign that agreement. However, if you are doing it like on a highlighted guest or someone that you're toning or pulling through, I always say do it in that in-between step prior to your final glaze or toner. Does that make sense? Just kind of looking at it that way. But Basu oil would be very healing. So think about applying and doing Basu oil massages when you do have those types of reactions with your highlight color.
So now I'm using the Basu oil as my facial oil. I do not want a slippery slide when I am out of a massage. I hate it. I feel like I have to go shower, but I have 90 million things to do. Basu oil and CBD salt, I don't feel greasy after. It really absorbs in my guests and my own skin. So we don't have to feel like we need to shower when we're done, but it's diving that moisture in. Okay, so that's great. Now, when we are using our massage movements on our face, we're still going to utilize the same different massage techniques. Okay, and some of you saw as I was working through, we're going to work that top chakras, those crown and throat chakras. We're going to open up that third eye and we're going to work those pressure points. Our temples, paws, slight circular motions. Okay. Same thing up in between the eyes, our third eye, pause, pressure, slight pressure, circular motions.
Does it matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise?
It's so funny story, no, but there's a lot of debate on that. The research I have done, no. Yes. Great question though. All right, again with the ears, a lot of pressure comes from our ears. We hold a lot of stress in our shoulders, our neck, and right behind the ears is their little spot. Press, circular motion. Okay. Work our shoulders. And we have our little mini facial. Okay? The reason why we're doing all of this is to elevate that experience, but also to let the mask sink in. So you have the steam going, you have the music going. She's in cloud 9. I don't have the steam on for camera purposes, but yes.
And you can use the hood or not use the hood.
Correct.
So
You can use the hood or not the hood. And all right, we have our CBD. Okay, we're still going to work on that upper chakras here. We're going to have our décolleté, work our way into the shoulder.
Is the steamer going to allow her some breathing room?
Yes. Now, if you utilize the dome, a little trick, it will lay flush in your sink. A trick to not feel claustrophobic, put the edge of the dome right above the top of her nose. So you would have the edge of the steamer top right here. This way, she breathes and she's comfortable and she's not feeling claustrophobic. And check in.
I share what you also do in the salon. Yeah, please. If you don't love the idea, and this is just another additional recommendation, because again, this is your experience to curate for your environment. If you don't love the idea of the dome and having to move that in and off of the guests, you don't have to use the dome at all. You have steam coming from your unit. You also can have an additional facial stand steamer to the side. So you're getting steam and light therapy from the bottom and then steam coming from the top. And then you're not in the room moving and placing that dome. It's all in how you want that experience to go and work for your environment.
Yes. Now, as I was standing here, I'm thinking, oh, my back, right? Posture.
How would you like me to?
Bend.
Yes. So, let's just say you don't have this or room for this in your salon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Fumigation, light, water, too. Yeah.
on top of that.
Yeah. Steam, fumigation, water, light. 3 main components.
How much is the maximum payout?
Anywhere from, I do 10 to 12, but it could be 5 to 8 would be. So we have our steam going. We have our hood demonstrated for you. We're working. This is where I'm going to have some warm towels. Paraffin wax. Add the fluff. Make it fun, make it memorable, and make it seasonal. Right? A little pumpkin spice paraffin wax. Like, that sounds fun. You just don't need it. All right, so we're going to wrap our hands with warm towels. We're going to place our hand on our belly here. We really want to bend our knees. We really want to work our guests to our advantage too. I come from the cosmetology world. I'm on my feet all day. I don't know what sitting is. To sit down is amazing. But if you're sitting wrong, it's going to hurt more than standing. I personally have a saddle chair in my salon, so it almost forces you to stand up. All right, very important. We talk about Zen. We talk about taking care of our guests. Take care of yourself. Okay, when your hands are dry from being in the water over and over and over and over again, in between, use that Basu oil on yourself. Use the CBD salve on yourself. Put it on your feet. Take care of yourself. So important. Okay, how are we doing? Good?
So you guys, we're going to have some Q&A once we get Melanie off the bed.
I'm going to take her down and dry her, so that we can come back and share with you how we do the post-scalp analysis, how we do the high-frequency rate comb.
All right, so we have different options. If you have a plum, you just turn on your faucet and you fill it up. If you have the portable, you scoot on over. You make sure that your temperature is where you want it. Oh, there we go. And we switch over to our clean water. So here we are, rinsing with clean water, and now we can show. Perfect. Then we are filling up our basin about 1/4 of the way. We are going to turn on our lights. And we are going to switch on our handheld one and switch over
This is interesting. So this is how you add water to a portable unit.
to a portable unit.
You just pour it right in, huh?
Pour it right in. That's it all. All right, so now our mask is being completed. We're rinsing out with our clean water. We're making sure our guests have a jade mask, hot towels, all of these different things. And we really just want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for that consultation at the very end. We're going to discuss with our guests what we used, why we use it, and go on from there. We want take home.
This was a good class.
Yes.
Well, there's always the process of products, how to use it, how to treat, how to use the equipment, how to incorporate tools, right? How to make it just seamless from start to finish for the guest experience.
Now this is coming from clean water underneath.
So you have a separate reservoir.
So we have separate reservoir. We do the little switcheroo, I call it. And now we're ending with our clean water. Ew, you're rinsing with dirty water. No, we're tea brewing and we're ending with really clean water. Why? Because it's being filtered in there. The light therapy is breaking it down and it's getting rid of 82% of good, right? You have hard water, well water, whatever. It's breaking that down. We're going to slightly turn our guest's head, work the underneath, and we are going to drain.
Doesn't look like you have to worry about it coming over towards the neck or shoulder area.
Some people like to put plastic on the top of their bed. You're more than welcome to do that as well, just to protect the guest and your bed. But typically the way, if you have your guest in the right spot, you shouldn't have to worry about their necks, their backs, or anything getting wet. Okay? How are we feeling? Are we learning a lot? Excellent. The biggest question that we come across, can you perform this service with somebody with extensions? No. Plain and simple. Oh my God, right? I know, it's sad, but there's an option. There is. Because extension clients need the service. First off, why are they wearing extensions in the beginning? Why? Because they may have thin, fine hair, they want it thicker, fuller. Or they're just like, I want to be awesome. That's cool too. But most of the time it's because they want to feel like they have thicker, fuller hair. Okay? So instead of bringing them in for the full service, right? If we're laying there, we have our wefts or our beads or our tapes, and I'm working this massage through, and I'm laying on this bed, I'm really running the risk of breaking their hair. We don't want that. So we can do a move up, scalp facial. We're going to remove them at your next appointment. We're going to move them up in between that. I'm going to introduce you to the scalp facial. It's going to help exfoliate your scalp, get rid of any buildup that was there with the extensions over top. And then I'm going to send you home with the scalp detox. And we're going to show them how to use it. Take it out, do the scalp facial, put them back in, have the scalp detox in their hand. In the shower, once every other week, I'm going to have you slightly lift up your weft. Take your finger, put the scalp detox, rub till you don't feel any more granules. Rinse, go to that next row. Okay? Then if somebody is facing that hair thinning or that hair loss, send them home with that light box set. Have them utilize that shampoo. Use the treatments at night. Every time you do a move up, take a picture of their hair through the scalp machine. Show them that their hair is growing in diameter. Have them keep track of how much hair loss they have at home. And then eventually they don't need the extensions. Right? What is the distinction between scalp facial, scalp treatments, and the head spa? I know we went over, but it's really important that I want you to know the difference. Social media trend is just a halo. There's three main components: water, temperature, water therapy, steam, fumigation, products too, and then light therapy. That is the difference. There's a few more. And culture, chakras, pressure points. There's a pressure point up here that can help your liver. There's a pressure point back here that can help hair grow. That's pretty cool. Scalp treatments, we're just cleansing, we're exfoliating. This goes deeper. Okay? Can I perform this service without using a head spa shampoo bowl? Yes, as long as you can have the necessary setup with steam, light, and ability to adjust the water temperature. Go back to the traditional methods. Have your tea brewed already. Get some Awaken shampoo, stir it up, get the bubbles, dip it in. Stir up the detox, put it on, let it soak, dip it in. Play with it, it's fun. Can I perform this service on clients with eczema or psoriasis? Yes, absolutely. They're the ones that need it. Any scalp challenges? Let's say you don't have scalp challenges at all. That's okay. That teenager who comes in with a ponytail like this, right? They can still utilize these products if they don't have scalp challenges. It's prepping for their future. You and I know they're going to eventually have some of that hair loss. They're going to get off that birth control, have babies, do this. Life's going to happen. That DHT hormone is going to keep rising and rising. Let's prep it. right? Eczema, psoriasis, so important. Let's give them instant relief. This is going to help. Can this service be performed on textured or curly hair? Absolutely, all types of hair. What do we know? Curly textured hair is lacking moisture. So let's play around. She's like, Let's play around with our different masks. Let's make that espresso martini, shake it up a little, and put in that moisture, okay? We cannot do the high frequency on anybody with wet hair. So you would just have to skip it. But her and I were just discussing, you guys live in cold area. You don't want to send your guests home, but you don't have either time for a blow dry or the ability to do blow drying in your salon or spa. Maybe you're an esthetician. Maybe they allow it here. You can't do the blow dry part. You can either, I've seen people get creative and it's a very great idea, leave a blow dryer in the bathroom, or make a cute little area, a little boho area in your salon or spa. Get a little cozy blanket. Every guest that walks out of that head spa room, I am waiting with warm tea. They're cold, right? Warm tea. So have that boho area in your salon or spa with a hooded dryer, warm tea, warmed up blanket. This way they can walk out a little bit dry, not cold, and catch pneumonia and blame you. We're good? All right, so testimonials. Yes, I'm going to do a couple and then we're going to bring somebody up to talk to us live in person. One more. Perfect. This is Miss Caitlin. She had a lot of skin buildup due to her not being able to lift up her arms because she is in so much pain. Right? She's young. She's 18. Terrible to hear. Right? It breaks your heart. It makes me want to cry now because, you know, you're suffering in silence for so long. And then these people come in, sorry, but myself included, they come in and they're suffering so bad. They're in pain. Their hair loss is in clumps. My husband used to take the hair and like hang my son's army man on the shower and we would laugh about it. It would be funny. He would try to make me laugh, but really, like it hurt my soul. My team of 14 people, I wouldn't let them work on myself because I was embarrassed with how much hair. I looked like a jackass boss, like don't touch my hair, right? So Caitlin was the same way. She had this significant amount of skin buildup, not even product buildup. So what happens, back to that lovely plant analogy, when you don't have a healthy follicle, you can't drive the nutrients that you want. So it's just going to build up. It's not even going to get to the hair bowl. All right? So those are our first before and afters. Now, because it's hard to see, but in the beginning, there really was no blood flow at all in that first one. And she had that gray translucent color that I was talking to you guys about. So I knew there wasn't going to be instant blood flow because it was built up with so much product that it's going to take us a couple times to really get to the root of the problem. Proper education at home. My guest is coming in. 8 to 10, 10, 12, 14, right? All of that. So the next one we have Miss Myrtle Beach. Ah, my favorite. Little potato chips, right? We don't have, it's not dry shampoo, it's not product, it's little potato chip colors. It's some of them are very translucent by the skin and dandruff built up. Okay? So she struggled with everything. But now Miss Myrtle Beach, I did not know this. She had to bring her crown everywhere she went. If somebody said, hey, Miss Myrtle Beach, I want a picture, she has to be ready. Grocery store, CVS, didn't matter. Miss Myrtle Beach, her dream was to wear that little black dress, and she couldn't. Right? She has beautiful, beautiful long hair, but suffered severely with dandruff. She came to me. She was my first client. About our second treatment with stuff at home, we had instant results, but it took about the second time to really, 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 really see it. She sent a picture of her in that little black dress, and it was amazing. This is why we do what we do. Yeah.
What's the difference between dandruff and dry scalp? Isn't dandruff,
Go ahead. You got it. It's okay. It's a breakup of the dry skin and buildup. It's just on a looser level.
Yeah.
So you're losing so much. You don't have as much oil or moisture. It's very, very dry, where it's flaky.
Mm-hmm.
So skin buildup, if you have a lot of oils or clogged follicle, that's where you're a mix between sebum and skin products. So it's thicker, flakier. eczema, psoriasis, things like that. Yeah, so then there's just another form of it. Use everything. And you really, really want to show them that you're using them too. So have your barbicide in visible front for them. When you use it, drop it in. Use it, drop it in. Right? Really make sure everything. Yeah. Good? All right, our last testimonial, I would love for you to share your story if that's okay. Awesome.
Guys, I'm Janet. I work at Sullivan Beauty, and I lost all of my hair back, the end of March, beginning of April, because I was starting chemo treatments. It happened almost immediately after my first treatment. It all went. And through research and talking to my nurses and stuff, I knew there wasn't much I could do during that whole process. But you better believe the day I finished all my treatments, which was end of July, I got myself that box right there. And it was funny because at first, it feels a little funny because you're scrubbing a bald head. Like shampoo, conditioner, and I remember somebody saying to me, don't skip any of the steps on it. Now, after my last treatment, the very first question, I asked the nurses is I'm like, when am I going to see hair growth, realistically? And I had researched it, being a hairdresser. And they said, you'll start to see some fuzz about 2 months after your last chemo. And I was like, oh, okay, but I'm going to just start this anyways. I went back a month later for a follow-up visit, and I had 3 different people ask me, like, are you doing something with your hair? Because they said my hair growth was about a month ahead of anybody else's that they had seen. I had more than just fuzz, and it was, like I said, only about a month out. So I'm 3 months out from my last treatment. I've been using that. It's still going great. It's coming in. It's thicker in the back. Well, it looks thicker because it's darker. It's mixed in with some gray. So it tends to look a little patchy, but it's really just the gray. But it feels good to have it come back. So it's always hard as a hairdresser because when you're talking to somebody that's either had cancer or going through chemo, like you can't make any promises. But I always feel like if there's something that can help them along the way to like gain that hair growth and help with it, it's something that you can add to, the service with your customers by talking about that with them and making them understand that there's not really much you can do when they're going through it, but when all is said and done, come see me and I'm going to give you some tips and some products that you can use that are going to give your scalp a healthier growing environment.
So, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I always say this to my team, and it's so important. A lot of them come back, like I have an associate's program, so most of them are like fresh out of school. They're scared of everything. You got to talk them down. I don't want to be a salesperson. I feel like I'm selling them. You are doing a disservice to your guests if you are not talking retail. Just remember that. You're not a salesperson. They're coming in with a problem, and you're fixing it. You're enhancing it, right? So you're doing a disservice. It's important to talk product. It's important to talk retail. Just make sure it comes from the heart, and you're not just selling Joe Schmo just because. Know the why behind it. But it's really great to see the guests come back, and they sit in my chair and they're so excited to be underneath that scope. Literally, like coming in, like, did you see this? And it's one little sprout, and you're like, yes, celebrate their wins. Take pictures, show them, be excited. It's why we're in the industry, right? This is why we're changing lives. So whether you can do the whole treatment or not, utilize the scalp facial at the bowl. Talk about take-home products. They work. I'm living proof. She's living proof. They really work. So Tiffany's going to come back up, and then we'll finish up questions. I know somebody else had something, but I know we want to do the scope, and then we'll finish up all of that. Look at that style, all shiny. Okay, so style pretty quickly. We just had a couple moments. So I started out with our Awaken Mist, which is our leave-in conditioner detangler. So this also has the botanical fibers that will start that thickening process, densifying the hair. And then I dried her about 60% dry or so. And then I added in our Awaken Blow Dry Foam.
This is gonna help maximum heat protection, really fatten and thicken up that hair, strengthen it with Pro B vitamin, as well as maximum heat protection. I wanted a lot of nice split. She has a lot of hair, but it's fine. So I really wanted a lot of nice split in our brown brushing. And then after we were done, I just gave her a little texture spray, just for a little extra.
The Awaken line is amazing to use, but we want to be careful of what we're using on the hair after this head spa service. Again, we're like plants. So if we're putting something really alcohol based or very drying, and it's a little open still, now we're feeding it with the bad stuff. It takes 24 to 48 hours for your follicle to fully seal after a head spa, regardless of the product. Okay? So next we have our elixir and our treatment. We are going to do equal parts in our oxygen gun. 1, 2, 3.
Just a quick question. Let's say they're going on vacation, like right after their service and going into and whatnot. Should we advise them to not jump in a pool right after?
I always say don't wash, don't do anything for 48 hours.
Okay, perfect.
Great question.
Thank you.
And I'm going to do a little swirl, little mix, and we're going to use our airbrush oxygenated gun. Again, working those same areas. Spray. This is not going to leave the hair super wet or damp. Now, when we're sending our guests with that white box set, I tell them, I just did the first treatment for you. You don't have to do anything until tomorrow, okay? You're going to talk to them about how to use the products at home, what to use, when to use it. Says 2 times a day. I personally, side note, put it next to the bed, my bed, so I remember. My alarm goes off. And I stole this idea from Tiffany, but you have the treatment, you have the elixir, mix it, shake it up, put it next to your nightstand. You're going to remember it, right?
And just to note to self, you can do, Nicole is doing this now after her hair has been dry, but you can also do these applications prior to drying the hair. So that's going to be personal preference.
All right, so what's really cool, I hope you guys see it. Where? What's really great is that we have a nice clean follicle. We have a nice natural, no buildup of oil. Now what's really cool is right here, this is why I stopped here. You see that little guy in diameter, super small? Yeah, that's a new baby hair. So the more and more you do this, the more you're gonna see little sprouts like that. And that's when you stop whatever you're doing, take a picture of that and show them. Okay? Now what we don't see right now is a lot of blood flow. So I know that she was lacking that a lot. And her and I will have that discussion about what to use at home. When she comes back, it's going to be more pink, more pink, more pink, and then boom, blood flow. It may take a couple sessions, and that is okay. You didn't fail. You didn't not do your job. It just means they really needed to come and see you. Go ahead.
When you see the blood flow, what color would it look like? Right there, the red. Okay, I see it.
So do you see how pink that skin is? So it's very pink, and you have these little squiggles, and that is the vein coming to the surface. That's why you feel these warm sensations, because it's the blood flow coming to the surface. And again, it's okay that your guest did not see that on time 1. The other thing that could have happened is from the heat from the blow dryer, with all that time she was down there, it could have settled a little bit. And that's okay too. Just show her massage techniques so she can use them in the shower. Send her home with some of the tools that you use. Send her home with a scalp brush. all of these different things.
Yep.
So yes, you can do the scalp analysis with the hair wet. Now I would do one wet and dry personally, because you really want to be able to see the difference between oil and shine and make sure that you've got all those oils out. When the hair is wet, it just looks like one slippery slide. Okay, but absolutely, I prefer it wet, and plus you can section the hair itself a little bit easier. Okay. So when we're done with that, we do our little analysis, we talk to our guests and our findings, we talk about at-home care. During that time, I'm going to end with my high-frequency comb. You know, you're going to turn it on. You're going to test it on yourself. Cool, right? All right, we are going to go the same way that we've done everything in a methodical reason why. Okay, and we're going to work our way. This is helping seal everything.
And this is not used on
wet hair, not used on anybody with pacemaker, breastfeeding.
epilepsy, pregnant.
Absolutely. Right. You're going to do about 2 passes. Melanie said something about, when you guys were on break, about you felt the cooling effect. Right? So imagine, hold on guys, 1 second. Imagine the warm towel, the warm bed, and you have this cooling effect and you're playing with those trends. Cool. Jade mask. The list goes on and on.
So, do you work your aftercare package into your product, or do you try
You
to?
can.
I don't want to get into that right now.
Yes.
But the people that are, they're doing it for like the relaxation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't targeted like the hair loss fights. I guess that's way to be educated.
Yeah.
So they're coming just for like the whole relaxation.
Right, I'll be back for another.
Yeah.
75% of your guests are literally coming for the relax.
And then that's, and then
So it's, yeah, exactly. But then you're also able to explain to them why,
yeah.
and what it is. But the treatment itself, the Awaken Scalp Facial, provides a relaxing experience. Everybody needs healthy cellular turnover and regeneration for their scalp. Right. So just looking at, you guys have this in your folders, some thoughts on suggested menus. Now, I've said this repeatedly throughout this class. This menu is yours. You think about what your experience looks like. What added things do you feel like you would love in this experience? You can curate. That's what sets the opportunity for head spas, whether there's one on every block or your next door neighbor. So if everybody can create a different experience, right? That's going to bring that wow factor. But these are just some great suggested options. So this, a 30-minute scalp reset. Again, I did share that this whole system can be done throughout one experience. However, in a 30-minute scalp reset, if you are doing it in a head spa bowl, going through all of those steps might be a little lengthy for that 30 minutes, getting them in and out. But you're just looking at like the shampoo, the detox, the conditioner, and a little bit of that CBD salve for the neck massage, shoulders, all the things. And just to kind of tease them into that experience, for somebody that just has limited time, right? Your 60-minute scalp facial, this is what Nicole was sharing, is her most popular scalp facial. This is just that relaxing experience. You can use that full Awaken system. You also have a second option of a step-by-step page in your folders for the what we call the max repair. So that would be for the guest who doesn't want that sensory tingly, everybody doesn't like that, or may have an allergy to peppermint oil or something of that nature, that just wants a good head scrub and rub and some anti-inflammatory and massaging, right? So you have 2 options there. So that's going to be that 60-minute scalp facial. And then, as Nicole was sharing what she shared today, with that 60 minutes, you still do all the same steps if you do the scalp facial. And I'll tell you why in a minute. The 90-minute is going to be your hair loss. This is where you're really looking at not only treating them and giving them that elevated experience and the why behind it, but you're setting them up for success with take home because they want to see results and see them quickly. So you're going through the full experience that you saw today. But you're also including an Awaken take home box set, building that into the price. Because they're not going to get the instant results coming in every 12 weeks, 6 weeks that they want unless they're using the hair care at home. So it's an experience, but also an educational opportunity for the guests on how to get results through this system and through coming in for regular treatments. I think Nicole has this option in her salon, and it's what, $285?
Yes, $285. And then we also offer packages because we have to see our guests back in order for them to really see the results. So I'm going to give incentive for them to pre-book and pre-pay. So we have an incentive 10% off if they purchase 4. Right? Do things like that. Figure out what percentage you can take off and go ahead and build that in. Do they always need that white box set? No. So maybe giving them incentive. Oh, I'm out of this, but I don't need that. All right, well, if you purchase this, you get a little discount, right? Things like this.
Absolutely. So lots of different ways. So really digging into your market. I encourage you all as you're going on this journey to maybe just do some little Googling research. I did not specifically Google research this area, but I can tell you in the Carolinas and Tennessee, where I'm opening these up left and right, you are seeing them starting at as high as $285 to $300 per service, as low as $50 to $65 for that dip the toes in the sand, and everything in between.
My salon does not have room for an extra spa area, so what would your suggestion be to set something up to create that environment for our clients with the space we have already?
Yeah, as long as you can find a little corner and comfortable 2 chairs sufficiently.
I have some salons that are doing some like curtains, like almost like a pull around type nice drop curtain or something. So you're not getting as much quiet because you're not in like a controlled walled room, right? But you can at least create a little bit more of that private, more intimate space by kind of closing it off for a treatment area. I do have some salons that have like Mondays, Sundays, they're offering on like before or after hours or on the day they're closed. That's just the day that they book treatments in salon, so it is a lot more private.
They love it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Love it.
Men love it too. So a lot of people ask me about men, facial care, right? Do exfoliations on the hair, things like that, but offer a discount if they don't want that full hand, arm, neck massage. Maybe they do. I don't know. Men or women, doesn't matter. If they're not comfortable with that full setting, offer a discount or alter it in some way. Find what they do want to experience and enhance that.
Consultation. You mentioned them having it beforehand. Do you email it over and have them send it back so you have?
So for instance, I use Vidaro.
I have Vidaro.
So yes, there is a forms option. We actually have them do it for color, head spot, quality. And we have our front desk send it out a day before the service. So I have time to utilize it. But a lot of people utilize it, read it, and that's their consultation. This is just that free consult and to release your salon of any. Just like Sullivan is a family-owned business, I'm a family-owned business as well. So if you have any questions that you think of on the way home about the equipment, the service, please reach out. I would be happy to help.
Great.
Can be sent out the following.
And can I do something really dorky and grab my phone and take a picture with you all?
Yeah.